Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Hare
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Nittai Gauranga Jayo Nittai Gauranga Nittai Gauranga Jayo Nittai Gauranga Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Reading from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th Canto, 9th Chapter, Text number 6. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please repeat after me. Shri Bhagirata Uvacha. Shri Bhagirata Uvacha. Sadhavayo Nyasina Shanta. Sadhavo Nyasina Shanta. Brahmistha Lokapavanaha. Brahmistha Lokapavanaha. Haranti Agamte Angasangat. Haranti Agamte Angasangat. Teshu Aste Hi Agabhidharihi. Teshu Aste Hi Agabhidharihi. Shri Bhagiratha Uvacha. Sadhavo Nyasina Shanta. Nishta. Tehi Agabhidharihi. Shri Bhagiratha Uvacha. Sadhavo Nyasina Shanta. Brahmishta Lokapavanaha. Haranti Agamte Angasangat. Tveshvaste Hi Agabhidharihi. Shri Bhagiratha Uvacha. Sadhavo Nyasina Shanta. Nitya Lokapavanaha. Haranti Agamte Angasangat. Teshu Vaste Hagabhidharihi. Mataji's. Shri Bhagiratha Uvacha. Sadhavo Nyashina Shanta. Brahmishta Lokapavanaha. Haranti Agamte Angasangat. Teshvaste Hi Agabhidharihi. Word to word translation. Shri Bhagirataha Uvacha. Please repeat after me. Yeah. Bhagirata said, Sadhavaha, saintly persons. Nyasinaha, sannyasis. Shantaha, peaceful, free from material disturbances. Brahmishtaha, expert in following the regulative principles of Vedic scripture. Lokapavanaha, who are engaged in delivering the entire world from a fallen condition. Haranti, shall remove. Agham, the reactions of sinful life. Te, of you, Mother Ganges. Angasangat, by bathing in the Ganges water. Teshu, within themselves. Asthe, there is. He, indeed, Agabhet, the Supreme Personality, who can vanquish all sinful activities. Harihi, the Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Bhagirata said, you can repeat after me. Bhagirata said, those who are saintly because of devotional service and are therefore in the renounced order, free from material desires, and who are pure devotees, expert in following the regulative principles mentioned in the Vedas, are always glorious and pure in behavior, and are able to deliver all fallen souls. When such pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions accumulated from other people will certainly be counteracted. For such devotees, always keep in the core of their hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can vanquish all sinful reactions. Purport. Mother Ganges is available to everyone for bathing. Therefore, not only will sinful persons bathe in the Ganges water, but in Haridwar and other holy places where the Ganges flows, saintly persons and devotees will also bathe in the waters of the Ganges. Devotees and saintly persons, advanced in the renounced order, can deliver even the Ganges. Tirti kurvanti tirtani swantastena gadhabritha. Bhagavatam 1:13-10. Because saintly devotees always keep the Lord within the core of their hearts, they can perfectly cleanse the holy places of all sinful reactions. Therefore, people in general must always respectfully honor saintly persons. It is ordered that as soon as one sees a Vaishnava or even a sannyasi, one should immediately offer respects to such a holy man. If one forgets to show respect in this way, one must observe a fast for that day. This is a Vedic injunction. One must be extremely careful to refrain from committing offenses at the lotus feet of a devotee or saintly person. There are methods of prayaschitta or atonement, but they are inadequate to cleanse one of sinful reactions. One can be cleansed of sinful reactions only by devotional service, as stated in regard to the history of Ajamila. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudheva parayanaha agham dunvanti karsninya niharam iva bhaskaraha. Only a rare person who has adopted complete, unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. Bhagavatam 6:1-15. If one is under the protection of a devotee and sincerely renders service unto him, by this process of bhakti yoga, one is certainly able to counteract all sinful reactions. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Vicharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we see here in the 9th canto, there is a description of how Mother Ganges descended to this material world, specifically to our planetary system, Bhumi or Earth. We all know how Mother Ganges first descended into the material universe itself, right? How is that? Right? When Mamanadeva said that he needed, he had begged the 3 steps of land, right? And that time, with 1 step, he covered the entire universe. With the other step, he covered the entire space. And he lifted his leg up like that. You've seen the beautiful painting done by devotees under Srila Prabhupada's guidance. And so when he lifted his feet up like that, the toe of his feet pierced the material universe. Right? And the causal ocean flowed in, touching the Lord's, toenail. And it is said that, that is the Mother Ganges, right? And Mother Ganges flows in all the 3 planetary systems, in the higher planetary systems, the middle planetary system, and the lower planetary system. So when Mother Ganges first came, she was only in the higher planetary systems. And her descent into Mother Earth is being described over here. So, in the 8th chapter, there is a description of how this whole thing came about. I'll quickly read the backstory so we can have a little bit of understanding of the backstory. So this is the story of Sagara. Sagara, following the instructions of the great sage Aurva, reformed many clans, including the Yavanas, Shakas, Haihayas, and Barbaras. I'm thinking the word barbarian comes from this Barbaras. The king did not kill them, but reformed them. Then again, following the instructions of Aurva, King Sagara performed Ashwamedha sacrifices. But the horse needed for such a sacrifice was stolen by Indra, the king of heaven. Standard story. Keeps happening again and again. And so here, King Sagara now was perplexed what to do. To get the horse back. King Sagara had 2 wives named Sumati and Keshini. While searching for the horse, the sons of Sumati extensively dug up the surface of the earth, and in this way dug a trench which later became known as the Sagara Ocean. in the course of the search, they came upon the great personality Kapila Deva. See what had happened? Indra had very cleverly kept the horse near Lord Kapila Deva, who was deep in meditation. And so when these kings of Sagara came, they saw the great personality Kapila Deva was there, the horse was there. They made a conclusion, evidence is here, the person is here, so there must be some connection between the two, right? And they hastily jumped to conclusion. They thought him to have stolen the horse. With this offensive understanding, they attacked him. Very unfortunate. Sometimes that's why they say anger is the doorway to hell. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes. If one is, situations will always come. In our lives, we will be put into all kinds of stressful situations. Right? You can imagine the kings of Sagara, the sons of Sagara. They wanted to fulfill the desire of their father. And father was doing very nice saintly work. And they've been very, very diligently searching everywhere, digging up the entire earth, creating an ocean in that process. And they come over here, they see, and all their, little bit of angst and frustration comes out. When they attack Kapila Deva was still in meditation. Just by the power of his, he's obviously the Supreme Personality as well. So by the power of his, purity, they were all burnt to ashes. Keshini, the second wife of King Sagara, then it goes on to explain. So all of them were burnt to ashes, and then it was I'll just quickly read this. Keshini, the second wife of King Sagara, had a son named Asmanjasa, whose son Amshuman later searched for the horse and delivered his uncles. So it was actually left like that. But then later Anshuman, he came across Kapila Deva, and the horse was still there. Because these are transcendental time zones. But this time Anshuman was careful. He approached Kapila Deva, and then Anshuman saw both the horse meant for sacrifice and a pile of ashes. Anshuman offered prayers to Kapila Deva, who was very pleased by his prayers and who returned the horse. After getting back the horse, however, Anshuman still stood before Kapila Deva, and Kapila Deva could understand that Anshuman was praying for the deliverance of his forefathers. Thus Kapila Deva offered the instruction that they could be delivered by the water from the Ganges. Anshuman then offered respectful obeisance to Kapila Deva, circumambulated him, and left that place with a horse for sacrifice. When King Sagara finished his yagna, he handed over the kingdom to Anshuman, and following the advice of Aurva, attained salvation. So that is the Anshuman story. Then what happens? The story of Anshuman. Now, the son of Maharaj Anshuman was Dileepa, who tried to bring the Ganges to this world, but who died without success. Bhagirath, the son of Dileepa, was determined to bring the Ganges to the material world, and for this purpose he underwent severe austerities. Mother Ganges, being fully satisfied by his austerities, made herself visible to him, wanting to give him a benediction. Bhagirath then asked her to deliver his forefathers. although Mother Ganges agreed to come down to the earth, she made two conditions. First, she wanted some suitable male to be able to control her waves. See, the Mother Ganges says, see, I'm so powerful, right? I'm going to fall from the upper planetary systems. If there isn't anybody who is able to control the power of my waves, it is said over here that Mother Ganges would pierce through, right? So, Mother Ganges said, I'll just read text number 4. When I fall from the sky to the surface of the planet Earth, the water will certainly be very forceful. Who will sustain that force? If I am not sustained, I shall pierce the surface of the earth and go down to Rasatala, the Patala area of the universe. It's going to just pierce through and go through. So that is why the first condition was, you needed a person who is able to control the waves. Okay? So, and who was the person who was able to control the waves? Lord Shiva was the only one who could do that. The second condition was, although all sinful men would be freed from sinful reactions by bathing in the Ganges, Mother Ganges didn't want to keep all the sinful reactions. Right? So Mother Ganges is saying, I'll just read out the exact words, it will be very interesting. Text 5. O King, I do not wish to go down to the planet Earth. For there, the people in general will bathe in my water to cleanse themselves of the reactions of their sinful deeds. When all these sinful reactions accumulate in me, how shall I become free from them? You must consider this very carefully. Right? So can you imagine? Now Mother Ganges is telling, all the sinful people will bathe in me, and what will happen to that? And then that's when this verse that we're talking about here is that Bhagirath said, those who are saintly because of devotional service and are therefore in the renounced order, free from material desires, and who are pure devotees, expert in following the regulative principles mentioned in the Vedas, are always glorious and pure in behavior and are able to deliver all fallen souls. When such pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions accumulated from other people will certainly be counteracted. For such devotees, always keep in the core of their hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can vanquish all sinful reactions. See, this is where we all need to understand our great fortune in meeting our eternal spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. See, we are all, most of us here, the older people, we're all born in India. Right? We know about all the places of pilgrimage. And people, whether they're religious or not, even if they're not so religious, they still have a sentiment to go to Haridwar and Rishikesh. Right? So we all also went. Many of us went on the trip. Right? We went to Haridwar, Rishikesh. I was remembering, on the day we went, one day we spent, that day evening we went to the prayers, the Arati offered to Mother Ganges. And so it was a little late in the evening, so we all went there. And there was quite a crowd of people. And there was some kirtan going on, and there was at least like half an hour, 45 minutes, I think, gap between our going and sitting there and the actual Arati starting. And at that time, the place was not full. So there was some place blocked off, and we were sitting there waiting for the other people to sort of fill up. So invariably, sitting there, and I was noticing what was happening around us. So it's obviously, it's a very very famous thing, right, to sit for the Aarti for Ganges. Everybody will see. And so there were all these business people, they were coming. In fact, what had happened, there was an area a little bit cordoned off. And somehow we went and sat in that thing there. Being seeing devotee dress, I think they allowed us to sit over there. In fact, they didn't allow many of the other devotees. They had to go sit some other place. So somehow we squeezed in. A few of us squeezed in. And then there were all these people who were coming, and there was sort of a hierarchy, And people were coming, they wanted to sit in the front, there was jostling going on. There was some negotiations going on with those people in the, those who were manning the people from the mutt who were controlling the place. And then people were all sitting there, they were turning like this and taking selfies. And then when the Aarti started, most people were like, sitting, and they were all calling their, families and friends and showing, live Facebook, almost literally, I would say 90% of them. Instead of sitting and seeing the Aarti, they were all on Facebook or the live, WhatsApp live, this live, whatever the things they were doing. Everybody is there showing themselves, showing this and, doing this. So they've come to a holy place. They come to Rishikesh. And they're sitting right next to Mother Ganges. And Lord Shiva is right there, a beautiful, this thing. And they're singing nice bhajans, thinking this thing of the Lord. Instead of taking advantage of all of this, right, to purify themselves, to get up this, everybody is conscious of, like, oh, I want to be in a big, nice place, my prestige, my this, I want to show that I'm here, taking pictures, taking this, right? The whole thing is like that. So this is the traditional nature of pilgrimage. People go to the holy place, but they miss the main essence of going to the holy place. Now, if we had not come in touch with Srila Prabhupada, our lives would also have been like this. We would have also gone. Everybody goes to Haridwar, Rishikesh, Vrindavan also we will go. Kurukshetra, all these places we will go. We will go to Radha Kund and miss the essence of why we are here, what we are doing here. Right? So that is the importance of getting in touch with a pure devotee, the power of touching a pure devotee. As Prabhupada is also saying in the purport, right? All this different prayashchitta or atonement, they're inadequate to cleanse one of sinful reactions. This karma kanda process, or the process of saying, okay, I will do this. No, they'll go, they'll dip in the Ganges, they'll get rid of their sinful reactions. Immediately they come out, they'll continue their sinful activities. Because the inherent desires in the heart is not cleansed up. If that is not cleansed up, how much ever you attempt, what does the Bhagavatam say? There's a very nice example the Bhagavatam gives to describe this. Anybody remembers? Kunjara Shauchavat. Right? A very wonderful example is given. If you observe the elephants, right? They are very fond of water. They will all come in a nice, the whole family will come. They'll sit there for 1 hour, they'll play in the water. They'll cleansing themselves, this thing, that thing, full nicely they'll cleanse themselves. You'll see, oh, look at this, how beautiful this thing. Right? But as soon as they come out of the water, what do? They will take all the dirt and then put around themselves. I mean, for the elephant, they are trying to create a layer of protection from both the sun and the other insects and all biting and all those things. But from a perspective of somebody looking at this, kunjara shauchavat, you cleansed yourself, you immediately put on a whole layer of dirt on yourself. So this way, this is a perpetual process. You will go on getting entangled more and more in this material world, and there is no end. There is no end to sense gratification. There is no end to getting rid of your sinful activities. So think about it. Last week we talked about Saubhari Muni. Can anybody enjoy this material world at a level even closer to his level? Right? With the power of his tapasya, he transformed himself into a wonderful young youth. That all the 50 daughters of the emperor of the universe wanted to marry him. He got married. He had a huge palace he created. With the power of this thing, and so many servants, and this and that. And with each wife, anybody remembers how many children he had? 100 children from each wife. His immediate family was 5,000 people. And not that, they were all living in some abject poverty or something like that. They were all opulent, rich, and you could only dream of it. Can you imagine a household of 5,000 people? 150 people is almost a birthday every week or 2 weeks. Right? There must be like every day there is a big list being read out in the morning. Today is birthday. this, and that. Hundreds of people. You can't even keep track of the number of people. And then he had all this thing. Still he was not satisfied. It is said that still he was not satisfied. This is a very recurring theme. If we all, somehow we have this hope. We have hope against hope. As Madhupana Prabhu keeps saying, you have desires, right? And then you have hope. And what is the third thing? Satisfaction, I think, right? Desire, and success. Right? Getting a satisfied, I did this, and they are feeling that success from that. Right now, all our desires are we are trapped in this body. We think that satisfying this body and the mind will give me happiness. Deep in our hearts, if we do some soul searching, you will see somewhere it will be there. Oh, no, this will give me happiness, that will give me happiness, this will give me happiness. And the living entity is trying this, trying that. See, when children are young, right, like all these fortunate small young children, their lives are very simple. At best they'll want some toy, some silly thing, this thing, that. They're happy, Give them some good food, they're happy. They're very satisfied in life. And they want to play a little with their friends, just run around here and there. Full end of the day, they're nicely they'll sleep. Have you heard of any children having sleep problems and anything? Nicely they'll sleep. Deep asleep. As you get older, so many problems. People are not able to sleep. Insomnia is the biggest problem people have. This worry, that worry, this thing, that thing, you can't even get sleep. In this is the nature of this material world. We keep putting our desires into things. And then the thing is, nobody is happy. Everybody has some problem with the other. But we are thinking, I see this person is there, they are happy. And one day, if I get this, I will also be happy. This is the nature of this world. It's very, very, this thing. If you go and ask yourself, do some soul searching. It's not about, at this moment, we'll all agree, no, I have this problem, that problem. But no, this way I get, I'll be happy. And look at this person. The foolishness is that we think that, this other person has this, they're happy. You go talk to them, that person will say, no, this person has this, they are happy, I am not happy. Asamordhva, we say. There's always somebody higher than you, somebody lower than you. Whoever you are, doesn't matter. I was talking to somebody the other day. I was telling, there are, let's say there is the world has 7 billion people now. I was telling this person who knows. Right now, there are at least 6.5 billion people, maybe even 6.7 billion people who will die to be in your position. Who would be so happy to be in your position. They will be saying, oh my God, if I had this, if I had this much wealth, if I had this big house, I had 2 cars, I had this, a bank balance, and this, whole life you don't have to work, you have enough money. Many people say, oh my God. But this person, so many problems. This is not there, that is not there, this person fought with this person, what they're fighting for, if you hear like this, you'll be scratching the head, like what is, that is the nature of this world. There is no end to this. So only by touching a pure devotee can we be purified right from the core of the heart. That's why this is, the purification is like core of the heart, the dust covering, our heart is cleansed. And internally, some change happens. And the beauty of Krishna consciousness is not that we have to give up these desires, not that we have to suddenly overnight become this. We should say, the word avyabhicharini is used, avyabhicharini bhakti. Vyabhichari, what does vyabhichari mean? Huh? No, this is more power, more stronger. Vyabhichar, they say. What is vyabhichar? It's prostitution. Avyabhichari means we have to be chaste. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. What does chaste mean? Chaste means, we'll say, no. What is a chaste? A wife is chaste to her husband, or the husband is chaste to the wife. Is mostly talked in the Vedic tradition in terms of the wife being chaste to the husband. My happiness will only come from this husband. Whatever, good, bad, ups, down, doesn't matter. I'll remain faithful. So like that we have to say, my happiness will come only in association with Krishna. If something in this world is not touching Krishna, not associated with Him, I will not take pleasure in that. I will not hanker after that. It's not very difficult. It feels difficult. Krishna is very merciful. He's not expecting 100% you'll take only happiness. No, just connect something. We say dovetail. You can make 10 steps. Oh Krishna, give me this Lamborghini. In this Lamborghini, I will come to this thing, only. You can say all that thing, but somehow say, I'll come to your temple and I will use it for your service. You can do that. That is still dovetailing. Better than, wishing for a Lamborghini and then using it for your Sanskrit. When if you say, I'll come to temple, 90% of the time you're using for something else. At least 10% use for it. Touch everything to Krishna. And you will see that it will transform. Chant the holy name inside our heart, the purification happen. One day you will wake up and say, oh, why do I need this? What do I need? That is the power of touching a pure devotee. And when such pure devotees bathe in the Ganges, they are the ones who are cleansing Mother Ganges. So that is why it is said when one goes to a place of pilgrimage, one has to take association of the devotees there. One has to take the association of the holy name, the association of the Shastras, to read and understand the significance of what is there and purify ourselves. Okay, I know time is up. Let me pause here and see if anybody has got any questions or comments. No questions? Are we ready for the Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki? Jai Srila Prabhupada ki? Bol Premanande.